Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Let me start off by telling you a little bit about TMI. TMI, or Toastmasters International, is a non-profit organization initiated by the leader Ralph C. Smedley with a sole motive to improve communication and leadership skills among the members across the globe. Toastmasters International has 15,900 clubs, more than 345,000 members in 142 countries. Wordsmiths Toastmasters Club is one among them. Toastmasters International works on 4 pillars of values, namely integrity, respect, service, and excellence. The mission of the club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before starting the meeting, here are some codes of conduct. Kindly check if your mobile is in switch off or silent mode. Speakers who will be coming forth, please refrain from speaking on sex, religion, and politics. When a speaker is talking, kindly don't interrupt as it might distract the speaker. Members are requested to come in professional attire. It's time to start the meeting. For the benefit of guests, all Toastmasters meetings shall be started and ended by one person called the presiding officer. Today's presiding officer is a chartered accountant at CRISIL. He works in the Global Research and Analytics Department. He has been a Toastmaster for over a year and a half now. And one of his favorite quotes is, "You never change a life until you step out of your comfort zone, because change begins at the end of your comfort zone." Please join me in welcoming the president of Wordsmiths, Toastmaster Abhishek.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shreya, for your warm welcome. So, as said, as a president, I used to get calls from guests and at times from new members about what this Toastmaster has to offer or how can I improve my communication skills. So many of us join Toastmasters to improve our communication skills or leadership skills. So I used to give the answers like it's a predefined answer. So I used to answer all the guests in the same way, what the pathway is, what it has to offer, and what are the leadership opportunities that the Toastmaster has to offer. So recently I was just going on a video in YouTube. So this just got correlated with the conversation that I used to have guests. So before getting into the correlations, let me declare the meeting number 611 open. Let us have a quick guest introductions. Can we hear it from Raghavendran? Can you please introduce yourself and let us know how you came to know about Toastmasters?
Hi. Sure. Thanks, Abhishek. Hi all. Very good evening. This is Raghavendran from Chennai. I stay in Villivakkam. On the professional front, I was working with McKinsey and Company shared services centers for the last 13 and a half years before moving into a startup now. So I've been with a startup firm. We're kind of doing the finance and accounting process for clients in US, and for the last 1 year I've been with them. So I got to know about Toastmasters, when I was looking into a few YouTube videos, and then I was looking at a club which is pretty closer to me since I stay at Villivakkam. I got to know about the Anna Nagar, and then I think I spoke to you, Abhishek, right? So he gave me a nice intro and he said, "Why don't you join this weekend's meeting?" So that's how I'm here. And apart from that, I am a singer as well. Of course, not a professionally learned classical singer, but have been performing devotional music kind of stuff in temples during festival times. So that's pretty much as an intro from my end.
Thank you so much, Raghavendran. Thank you. Thank you for joining the meeting. Can we hear it from Rika, if I pronounce it right? Do we have any other guest? Nazir Basha, can you please introduce yourself and how you came to know about Toastmasters?
Hi, my name is Richika.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Rishika. Can you please introduce yourself and let us know how you came to know about Toastmasters?
Yeah, just 1 second. I was trying to turn on my video. I actually haven't used Zoom before, so I was trying to figure it out. But anyway, so hi, I'm Ritika. I'm actually from Bangalore. So Shreya introduced me to this. She's actually my mentor. And I've heard a lot about Toastmasters otherwise in Bangalore itself. I just graduated from college, so I've never really had a chance to see what a Toastmaster session was like. So I thought I'd join in on this one. So yeah, glad to be here and excited to see how it goes.
And we hear it from, sorry. Pleasure to have you in Wordsmith meeting, Rishika. So can we hear it from Sonu Mehta?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Sonu this side. So I'm really excited to join all of you today. And I actually got home really early because I wanted to make sure I don't miss this session. So I'm really looking forward to it, looking forward to know all of you. And why I joined Toastmasters is basically to work on myself and to help myself grow and also to meet all of you. So looking forward and let's have a great session ahead.
Sonu, it's a pleasure to have you in Wordsmiths. Members, you can go on mute if you are not presenting yourself. Yeah. Thank you so much. So coming back to the correlation that I was discussing, I recently went through a video in YouTube where he was discussing about how to achieve whatever we desire in life. So the first question that we must ask ourselves is whether I can achieve it or not. The first question that we must ask ourselves is what it takes to achieve what we desire. The opportunity that the platform gives to achieve what I desire. So in that way, a Toastmasters, for me personally, I felt that Toastmasters provide a wonderful opportunity where I'm able to experience myself with the opportunities available as a communicator and as a leader to achieve. For the members, it can be International Speech Contest Winner Award or a Toastmaster International CEO, whatever it is. This platform provides the opportunity to move ahead in the career. So what it takes to achieve what you desire? That's most important question that we must ask ourselves if we want to improve ourselves in any categories. With that said, let us go for the business. All the Toastmasters meeting will be headed by a person called Toastmaster of the Day, very similar to MC. So that person will be moving us all through the sessions of the Toastmasters. In general, Toastmaster of the Day will be a Toastmaster member who will be doing this role. But Team Jarvis, just once Team Jarvis decided to go beyond that and have a non-member. The reason being, Toastmasters generally accept members who are more than 18 years. So we are going to have a member, a Gavilier Pranav, to be the Toastmaster of the Day, who is going to take us through this Toastmaster sessions. And a small introduction about Gavilier Pranav. He is a Vice President Education of Junior Speakers Club, which is a Gavilier's club in Anna Nagar. And without further ado, I spotlight Gavilier Pranav to be the Toastmaster of the Day. The screen is yours, Pranav.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhishek, for that wonderful introduction. I'm Gavalier Pranav, Vice President Education of Junior Speakers Club. It's my pleasure to be the Toastmaster of the Day in my very own parent club. So let's begin with the meeting. Before starting the meeting, I have to tell you something important. In the jungle, which animal is the biggest? I heard you say elephant. Which animal is the tallest? I heard you say giraffe. Which animal is the wisest? I heard you say fox. Which animal is the fastest? I heard you say cheetah. Among all these wonderful qualities mentioned, where is the lion in this picture? Yet, we say that lion is the king of the jungle. Why? Because the lion is courageous, the lion is bold, the lion walks with confidence, the lion does anything and never afraid. The lion believes that he is unstoppable. The lion believes any opportunity is worth giving a try. What is that we get to learn from the lion? We don't need to be the fastest. We don't need to be the smartest. We don't need to be the wisest. And we don't need to be the best of all. All you need is you need to be courage, boldness, the will to try, and to believe in yourself. It's time to bring out the lion in you. Leadership is an action, not a position. This is today's theme of the day. Today's word of the day is direction. I request you all to use the theme of the day and word of the day as much as possible in your speeches. Now it's time to start the meeting. I can't control the meeting alone, so there is a partner of me who's none other than the general evaluator. Today's general evaluator is Toastmaster Aravint. Over to you.
Thank you, Pranav, for that nice, wonderful start to the meeting and a very thoughtful start to the meeting. Good evening, Toastmasters. This is Aravint Annamalai, the general evaluator for today's meeting. As a general evaluator, I take care of the overall evaluation of the meeting. Since it's a very tough job and a big job, I won't be doing it alone. I have two sets of teams with me to aid me in this job. The first team is the team of evaluators who evaluate the prepared speech, and I'll introduce them later. Now it's time to introduce the other team called the tag team. The T in tag stands for timer, and the timer for today's meeting is Toastmaster Abhishek. Toastmaster Abhishek, describe your roles and responsibilities for today's meeting. Over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. As a timer, so since the time is the most essential for a professional meeting, as a timer, I will keep note of the timing taken by the speakers, table topic speakers, and the evaluators, and the overall time taken for the meeting as compared with the given time in the agenda, and I will present my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. So the timing criteria will be, how will the timing criteria be shared?
Sorry, just a second. I think there is a noise from my side. Just a minute. Just come back.
Yeah.
Arvind, you can go for our counter and grammarian. I will come back.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So the A in tag stands for R counter, and today's R counter is Toastmaster Bindu. Toastmaster Bindu, the stage is yours. Describe your roles and responsibilities.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Aravint. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as an R counter is to mention then some filler words like and, but, well, like, and some unwanted repeated phrases. I will jot down from each speaker, and then at the end of the meeting, when called upon, I will give my report. Over to you, Toastmaster Aravint.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu. Now finally, the J in tag stands for grammarian, and today's grammarian is Toastmaster Anuradha. Toastmaster Anuradha, please describe your responsibilities and also introduce the word of the day for today's meeting. You're on mute.
Hello all, now am I audible? Okay, so my job is to see the good usages and the not so good usages of grammar, and also to see how many times the word of the day, direction, and phrase of the day, a little help from above, is used. Thank you.
Thank you, grammarian Toastmaster Anuradha. That's it from my side. I'll be back at the end of the meeting for the evaluation session.
Just a second, Arvind. I will just share the timer cards.
Yeah, sure.
So, card. But will for the tabletops between the internet.
Okay. So I think the bandwidth from Toastmaster Abhishek side is bad. So the timing criteria will be shared as a screen share. The green card will be shown at the lower time limit, which is 5 minutes for prepared speeches, 1 minute for table topics, and 2 minutes for evaluation. The yellow card will be shown at the intermediate time limit, which is 6 minutes for prepared speeches, 1 minute and 30 seconds for table topics, and 2 minutes and 30 seconds for evaluation. At the upper time limit, a red card will be shown, which is for 7 minutes for prepared speeches, 2 minutes for table topics, and 3 minutes for evaluation. All the speakers will be given 30 seconds of grace time beyond the red card to wrap up their speeches. So the timing criteria is 5 to 7 minutes for prepared speech, 1 to 2 minutes for table topics, and 2 to 3 minutes for evaluation. And for everything, the grace period is 30 seconds. Now these are the roles for the tag team, and I'll be back at the end of the meeting for the evaluation session. For now, over to Toastmaster of the day, to Pranav.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. And now, let me brief the sessions for today. First is the prepared speech session, where the speakers deliver the speech. Second is the table topic session, where the table topic master gives topics to all. And third is the evaluation session, where the evaluators evaluate the speakers. And now it's time for the prepared speech session. The first speaker of today is DTM Arun Sridhar, who is delivering his dynamic leadership level 2 project 1, understanding your leadership style. Timer, please note the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Before that, I request the evaluator to read out the objectives.
Good evening, everybody. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized speech on any topic. Good luck to DTM Arun Sridhar. Over to you, Pranav.
DTM Arun Sridhar. The situation. The situation, DTM Arun Sridhar.
Sorry, before I start my speech, Reena, I may have sent you the wrong project because you're giving the research project objectives. This is the leadership style one. So just FYI, okay?
Yeah, I read this out. Have you shared it now? Have you shared the other?
No worries. I'll start my speech and we'll figure it. You can evaluate on general parameters. That's okay. Okay. So Pranav, if you may, please quickly introduce me just by name and my topic, and I'll get going again. Sorry.
Yes, sir. DTM Arun Sridhar. Title is The Situation. The Situation, DTM Arun Sridhar.
When you have a hammer in your hand, the whole world looks like a nail that has to be nailed. Toastmasters, yes. It's very similar with leadership styles questionnaires also. I've taken a bunch of leadership style questionnaires in my life, including in Toastmasters and outside Toastmasters, to gauge my leadership style. And I've taken it to heart, all the results that have come. And I've always implemented the results of that leadership style everywhere, without any exception. In Toastmasters, outside Toastmasters, at work, everywhere, I have used the same leadership style. And the results have educated me, have proven to me that the same leadership style does not work in every place or in every situation. The best way to handle any leadership task is to understand the situation you're facing, and to apply your leadership style. Now, your natural leadership style may be suitable for certain situations, and it may not be suitable for certain situations. I took the leadership survey in the Toastmasters website, and the objective of my speech is to tell you about my leadership style that the survey is given, and in turn inform you about the various styles that are there. But instead of doing that, I thought I will narrate to you a few incidents where I've implemented different leadership styles in different situations. One, the most obvious one is the Toastmasters example. In Toastmasters, myself and a few others, a lot of people use a coaching style of leadership, where we are experienced members who have done this for a few years. And when there are new members who come in, we coach them, we train them on what is the best way of delivering speeches, delivering on roles, and so on. What's the key points that to be kept in mind, and so on. We are also altruistic in that we develop the member in Toastmasters and make sure that they are able to progress in their Toastmasters path. This situation, the Toastmasters club situation especially, is very, very amenable to this coaching or altruistic style of leadership, where you have to help people grow. You have to envision that member growing in their path and becoming a different person. But this style of leadership may not always be useful. One situation that I faced outside the club in Toastmasters context was district realignment. Now, many of you may not be aware of this, but if you've spent a few years in Toastmasters, you'll know that there are clubs, and there are clubs attached to areas and areas attached to division districts and so on. And every year there is a Toastmasters district realignment committee whose job it is to realign the clubs to different areas or division depending on various factors. Okay? Now, until say about 4 or 5 years ago, this was done in a very unscientific manner. It was done on a very personal basis. It was done, just using a few calls and not any analysis or so on. So I took it as a project, a high performance project, to do it in a very scientific manner. There are a few reasons for that. One was location. We found out through our own observation that clubs that are attached to other clubs which are very close to them, geographic basis, tend to do well. That area tends to do well. We also found out that clubs outside Chennai, when they are clustered together, say Coimbatore clubs clustered together, instead of being aligned to Chennai clubs and so on, they tend to do well. And the reason is very simple. You can already guess, right? If you're close by, you can support each other. But there are a lot of barriers to this. People did not see it. There are a lot of corporate clubs that wanted to stay together. There was one company specifically which had 12, 14 clubs. And they were very intent on all of them staying together in one division. The ulterior motive being that they would always have 4 area governors and 1 division governor because of that, area director and division director because of that alignment. So there was a lot of opposition. And in this situation, using a very, a coaching or an altruistic leadership style will not work. So you have to use logic, and here you have to use innovative style of leadership, where you project into the future what you want to achieve. You show your fellow Toastmasters that doing this way will make our district strong, and it would take it to the next level. Right. The third situation that I face almost on a daily basis is at work, right? I work as a program manager in an IT services company, and all the programs that we run are very, very short, compressed duration, right? 3 to 4 months. We have to deliver on what was promised. I won't get into what we do or what the promise is or anything like that. The details don't matter. There is a promise that the company makes to the customer, and it has to be delivered within 3 or 4 months, right? No matter what, right? If rain or shine, COVID-19, COVID-20 doesn't matter. You have to deliver it at the end of 3 or 4 months. Now, in this situation, there is no coaching or mentoring or altruism or being nice or anything like that. There is no innovation. It's a very old product. So the way to handle this kind of a leadership situation is to be authoritative, is to be directive, and to give direction, to use the word of the day, to give direction to your team members, very strong direction. There is no room for any feedback. There is no room for any rebellion or anything like that. I'll tell you, you have to listen, you have to implement it. It's a very authoritative. And the reason for that, it's a very compressed timeline. And people who probably do well in Toastmasters to adapt to this kind of project environment, it takes some time. It took me some time. And like a good carpenter, I thought I will see a nail everywhere and hit it with the same kind of hammer. But as it turns out, every situation demands it differently. And as I did, I had more experience at my workplace, I got to know that the more authoritative, directive way of getting things done is the best way to do it in a program management, PMO kind of a environment. So the lesson I want to leave it with you is that please do undergo this project. But when you do, understand your style, but realize that the same style will not work everywhere. And you need to use different kinds of hammer to hit different nails. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful speech. And the speaker number 2 is Toastmasters Riya, who's delivering her dynamic leadership, understanding your communication style. Timer, please note the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. Before calling the speaker, let me ask Toastmaster Aravint, who is the evaluator, to read out the objectives.
Thank you, Cavalier Pranav. My target speaker, Toastmaster Shriya, is delivering her Level 2 Project 2 speech on understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. All the best to Toastmaster Shriya, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Riya, a casual chat. A casual chat, Toastmaster Riya.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening to all of you once again. In my previous project, I had to understand my leadership style. After reminiscing several anecdotes from my experiences, I concluded that I didn't have one style. Instead, I had a few which I had to pick and choose from, depending on the scenario. In that process, I also got to reiterate that leadership is indeed an action and not merely a position. With communication, however, I don't think it's that straightforward. I often tend to think, yes, I'm communicating very effectively because someone would have spoken to me the way I spoke to them, I would easily understand. Doesn't work that way. After analyzing some of my conversations, I realized that you understand your own style much better when you record and listen to them. Or if someone else evaluates you and points you in the right direction, what they thought went well and what didn't. If you've observed some of my previous speeches, you'd know that I tend to dramatize the wordings and gestures a little bit more and try to enact the things I'm talking about. For today's speech though, I thought why not try something different? After all, it's about communication. Let's experiment. Why don't I adopt a style today that makes it seem as though I'm casually talking to a bunch of people in front of me rather than giving a speech? Well, I just hope this works and that the intent is achieved. Coming to understanding the styles of communication, we must try to understand other factors too, right? Apart from knowing yourself more via recording or feedback, another thing is that everybody's level of understanding is different. Their background, culture, the things they read about, who they hang out with, everything is different. So we must try to understand that and then decide how to communicate with them, rather than simply assuming they're on the same level as us. Just like the previous project had a questionnaire, this project had one too. I felt like one of those Facebook quizzes we used to take years ago, wherein it'll tell you answer these questions and then magically reveal which Friends character you are or which Disney character you most resemble and stuff like that. So the first style that the questionnaire showed up was analytical communication style. The moment I read this, you know whom I got reminded of? A Toastmaster evaluator. Which role better suits this style? You analyze someone else's speech and try to scrutinize certain aspects of it, like structure, delivery, and content. Similarly, in real life too, I try my best to interpret what the other person is saying and play by ear. Next was the supportive style. Well, I can say that I try to make the other person feel welcome. If it's a new person I'm trying to get to know, I may be a little shy at first, but I'll try to listen to something that I can build on and support them with. I, of course, cannot do it for everything because my contextual knowledge is limited to where I've grown up and the exposure that I've had over the years. For example, if you tell me you're from Bombay or if you tell me that you're an avid reader, I will have lots of follow-up questions because it appeals to who I am. What I feel is that though I have come across various kinds of people in my life, I think I have still been able to strike up a conversation with them that just might make them feel welcome. Please note, this is just my perspective. I may be wrong. Next on the list was initiative style of communication. It's somewhat similar to supportive. Here, the only difference is that if I'm sitting in a place where I don't know anyone and I want to make small talk, like, for example, the time I wanted to make new friends when I joined college, I would start off, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Where did you grow up? What are your likes, your interests? And go on, right? I would just continue the dialogue from there on. Once I got to know them and they became my friends, they started to see me slowly switch to the direct communication style. If I wanted some information, I would just ask for it. If I had a criticism to make, I'd just say it, good or bad. Even today, if I want to confront someone on something, no, it actually depends. It depends on who it is, what it is that I'm approaching them for, its consequence, and so on. It all depends. However, if you look at the overall set of instances and zoom out to the big picture, I can definitely agree that on most occasions, I do adopt a slightly direct style of communication. Well, that's all from my side on corroborating on all the styles that the questionnaire labeled me with. In conclusion, I would just like to say that I joined Toastmasters to help improve the way I communicate. And as of today, I do feel that I've improved in the right direction in certain aspects. While on others, well, I think we can get that feedback from my evaluator today. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sriya. The third speaker for today is Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas, who is delivering her Pathways Persuasive Influence Level 3 Active Listening. Before calling her, I asked the evaluator Toastmaster Aravint to read out the objectives.
Good evening all. Thank you, Pranav. The purpose of the project is for the member to demonstrate her ability to listen to what others say. The project is active listening, and all the best, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas.
Over to the table topic master, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas.
Very warm indeed afternoon to each and every Toastmaster present here. Toastmaster of the Day, and the most distinguished guests and my lovely members. Today, my role is something which I had clear direction, a clear direction of leadership. My topic for this day is to bring in as many people as possible to come in for my Toastmasters table topics speech. Now, this very clearly I would like to place before you that I'm not here to judge, but whereas I'm here to request all the lovely guests here to make sure my presentation goes off well. So that's the twist. So how many of you, can I have a show of hands before we go ahead for you all to present the awesome impromptu, the most encouraging part of Toastmasters, trust me. This is where the life keeps ticking. You would just love it. Trust me, this is one reason why you would come into Toastmasters. So with clear direction, I'm going to request any of the lovely the guests who are here. Is there anybody who would like to volunteer? I'm sure you're going to volunteer. And after 5, I'm not going to take too many, so you better jump up. I can see Richa smiling away. Would I have the opportunity to have you speak for a minute, 1 to 2 minutes, as the table topic suggests?
Sure.
Yes, thank you, Richa. Your topic. I bring you today's thought. Leadership is an action and not a position. Leadership is an action and not a position.
Okay.
Over to you, Richa.
I'm sorry, I hope you meant me. My name is Richika.
Forgive me, Richika.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes,
Just making
Richika.
sure.
Would you like me to repeat? Okay.
Yeah, if you could just please repeat the topic once more.
You're
Jyothi
muted.
ma'am, you are on mute.
Leadership is an action, not a position.
Thank you. So I completely agree with that statement. I feel, of course, all leaders must lead from the front. They need to embody, they need to say what, they need to preach, they need to do what they preach. I have in my life met many leaders, and the best ones were the ones who used to lead by example. They used to show us how to do things and what to do. Apart from that, I want to talk a little bit more about Shreya, who currently is my mentor and who is in a leadership role with respect to me. And I think that definitely she does lead by action. For example, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be here in this meeting today. And one of my goals were to improve my communication, and she helped me do that. That is in itself is a really great action for me to follow up on, and she demonstrated that that's how a leader should be. So I'd like to conclude by saying that I completely agree with the statement above, and I hope that someday I'll be able to be in that position to lead by action. Thank you.
That calls for a true, enjoyable round of applause to Richika. So beautifully said. Preach, lead from the front, and you truly believe in it. It's very interesting that you so beautifully connected your mentor, and without having to stutter, you brought in to say, despite having excellent communication, that you would give credit to the leader who brought you in right there. Thank you very much, Richika. And that was indeed coming from your heart, which is all about table topics. Moving on to the next speaker. I'm just going to be seeing all the bright smiling faces. I'm going to have like two people in front of me. I'm going to take a pick between our lovely guest, Mr. Raghavendra Srinivasan or Miss Sonu Mehta. Is it okay? Anybody?
Yes, so works for me.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I did, when I started, I put out a list and I thought I'm going to ask you all to pick a number. But I think you people have taken me to a different level. So my quick statement here for you is, Sonu Mehta, it's about process and not people. Leadership is all about process, not people. Sonu Mehta.
Hello, everyone. So when I'm here to talk about leadership is about process and not people, the first thing that comes to my mind is the fact that leadership is learning. I would rather believe that nobody here or nobody anywhere in the world is born a leader. We all become leaders. And even though we do have people contributing to the role of leadership, what really matters in the end is how much we've grown, how much we've learned through the process of leadership. So if I were to narrate a very simple tale of mine, when I was in 4th grade, I wanted to become the school pupil leader of my school. But rather than speaking about it on platforms or talking about that to my parents, I believed in process. I believed in things that would take me there. And honestly, I didn't do anything, but I ended up there anyway. But I do know one thing, that it was definitely not people, because the people around me did not want me to take that out. They never wanted me to take it. But I ended up becoming the school pupil leader, and it was all about the process and not about the people for me. And even otherwise, if I were just to sum up my little table topic on how leadership is about process, I would say look at any of the leaders that we have today. They never got on top because of people. They never concentrated on the people. They concentrated on fixing the process, which is why today we have something called Toastmasters. And we also have something called the Constitution of India. Thank you so much.
That's truly brilliant, Sonu Mehta. What you said about, taking on a role when you're in school and so confidently saying that it was important for you to look at the process more than what the people had to say. Beautifully expressed and also put across at different levels how beautifully you have brought in a process cascading to a leadership role and confidently putting it across. Kudos to you. And I'm ever so grateful for having taken up this role. May I now request the awesome musical Raghavendran to give me the honors of having speak up for this Toastmaster table topics, please. Do I take it as a yes? I can't hear you, Mr. Raghavendran.
Is it audible now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
I think I have some problem with my net. Your voice is breaking. Can you just repeat what you said?
Okay.
Before you kind of handed it over to me.
I just called you the musical Raghavendran, who is going to take up the next table topic, and wanted your consent on that. Thank you very much. And I just knew you would say yes.
Sure.
Today is truly my lucky day. Okay. The topic for you is follow the people. Why? When I'm a leader. Follow the people. Why? When I'm the leader. Raghavendra Srinivasan.
I'm sorry, I think I have some problem with my connectivity. Can you just repeat the topic? I could only hear follow the people.
Okay, let me just rephrase it. Why would I have to follow the people if I'm a leader? Why would I have to follow people? I'm the leader.
Got it. So in my opinion, right, leadership is not just about holding a position. It is just to make sure that we grow as a team, and people are the most important integral part of any process, right? If you take care of your people well, the people are going to take care of the processes and then fix everything there. So from my perspective, um, when it comes to client management, of course we all strive to be very good in terms of client management. We all want to achieve a customer delight, and all those things can be achieved only when we have our people around us, right? And we need to take care of our people very well, and treat them in a way how we would want the others to treat us. And that is, according to me, is the most important factor from a leadership perspective, right? We need to identify the right talents. We need to stand by our people. Of course, yes, at times, being in the service industry, we do get to hear a lot of issues, the challenges that goes around the functions. But doesn't mean that we need to show that this is one of my team member who did the mistake. Rather than, we need to take everything collectively, stand by our people, and once you give that confidence to the people, right, they'll always do anything for you. And that's the essence of the teamwork, is what I kind of decide about this. So that's my take.
So beautifully taken a twist, Raghavendran. You very clearly said it's talent. And at the end of the day, you said it all means, am I there with the people? The minute you're empathetic to somebody, the direction sits in right there. So all that you can say is leadership, you said very clearly, is an action. It's not just a position, as what is said there. Thank you very much. So we've had, I think we've completed about 3 of them. I would like to know if there's any other guest who would like to take up the next topic, or if I can request some of our own.
Manish.
Manish Gupta, sir. Yes, Mr. Gupta. Thank you so much. It's really nice to have somebody volunteer. Today, I have the lucky stars on me. I'm sure Shreya and the others are smiling. All right. Mr. Gupta, very clearly, a leader without authority, but all the responsibility. A leader with no authority, but all responsibility. Over to you, Mr. Gupta.
A leader without authority.
No authority, only responsibility.
Good afternoon, everybody. Leader, no authority, but only responsibilities. A leader has only responsibilities because he has to see his people. He has to take care of them. Whatever problem they have, he has to help them. Suppose we have an MLA. People will give him work to do, that these are the problems they are facing in their area of electricity, civic sense, about road. That is the job of a leader to see. How will he manage as a responsibility? If he doesn't do it, then what type of leader is he? After some time, people will say goodbye to him. But that person, when we keep on doing it, people walk. Whatever people will say to him, whatever problem they are facing, if there is a shortage of water, scarcity of electricity, of anything, that person will be loved by the people. He will become a leader. He doesn't want any authority because he is not arrogant. He wants to help people as a responsibility. He always welcome anybody who's facing a problem. Come to my home, welcome. I'm going to help you. He is not like other people, arrogant. He will say, no, I will see. Then the job is not done. He has to mingle with the people. He has to talk to the people. He has to meet those officers in between the public and the leader to help those people to get their job done. That's a person is called leader. That's the person is a grassroots leader to whom people love. He is not leader like who inherited leadership in him, and he is not able to help people. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster, please.
Mr. Gupta, you came with very clear process in place. You so beautifully used your body language with your hands clearly stating what you wanted to say. And a leader has to hug. A leader has to. So you were very, very clear when you were so forceful with your tonality of the high rise and fall when you spoke about the roles. Interestingly, when you brought in the conscientious leader, not just having the authority, but looking at the civic sense, beautifully put across that when he is gone, you would still leave something behind for people to remember him. And it is about what you leave behind and not just what you carry on your shoulders. Beautifully brought across. Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta. May I quickly check with the timer if we can still go ahead?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Or can I take one more person, Abhishek? Or?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm going to request Toastmaster Arun Kumar. I know I'm pulling him off when he's evaluating me, but this is a promise I made to myself this morning. Toastmaster Arun Kumar, would it be okay for me to request you to take up the next topic?
Yes, sure.
Importance of influencing through others. Importance of influencing through others. Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
Good evening, table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. It's always important to influence people at some time because what I learned through my experiences, sometimes as a leader, if you go and directly tell them, see, this is not the right way of doing it, people don't understand it. And it has happened to me many, many times in my life that I try to explain them with whatever scenarios that I have in mind that this is not the right way to do it. But for some reason, if you directly go and tell somebody that you are wrong, it is unacceptable and they don't really feel good about it. But I tried something different. I'll give you an example. One day, one of my junior, he was always playful. He was always not very, very sincere with respect to giving the deliverables, and like he was always late in the deliverables. And I wanted to tell him, see, look, this is not the right way. We have a professionalism that we carry out in the organization. And if we promise to do that, we have to do it. In some period of time or the other, he had put leave and he did not inform the immediate managers or anybody. So I quickly told him, like, this is not the right way of doing it. And since then, he was not talking well to me, and like he was never listening to me. That's when I really understood that sometimes it's not directly telling them this is wrong would work. And after that, we had discussions with colleagues, and like what happened was I was talking to one of his closest friend and conveyed things in a different way, like this is how it has to be done. And I was telling in general and not complaining about somebody. So this was again discussed with that person. I know that he will definitely discuss, and they discussed something, and like that person in turn got understood that, okay, I was doing something wrong. And like he immediately, after understanding from his own friend, he changed. I could see the change in say 15-20 days. And that's when I realized it is very, very essential that not just you talking directly to a person, but the person who can influence them directly is very, very important to understand that in the leadership style. So go ahead, influence the right people, and you will see the results. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Arun. Spoken as a true leader. Heavy is the head that bears the crown. Been there, done that. So very clearly, he didn't come here directionless. He had a true purpose. There was an action in his position where he knew very clearly, he said, I goofed up this way and I realized that I had to take another route. Humility most certainly well displayed, Toastmaster Arun Kumar. And with that, we've had a brilliant table topic session, and I can't tell you that I have golden magic dust around me. Will that be my last person, or can I wrap with this, Toastmaster Abhishek? General evaluator, may I have a cue from any one of you? Do we take one more, or do we wrap with this?
If possible, like if you wanted, we can go for one more, as the time is there for 2-3 minutes more.
I truly would have been happy listening to Toastmaster Abhishek if he had said, table topics, Master Jyothi, we are just enjoying it. Why don't you get 2 more? Okay, never mind. So I'm going to request the ever enthusiastic Toastmaster Bindu, like she was, yeah, me. So, Toastmaster Bindu, may I request you to take up the next topic? Is that an okay from you?
Yes.
Thank you. Heavy is the head that bears the crown. Heavy is the head that bears the crown. Toastmaster Bindu.
Actually, direction giving is very, very simple. And with a heavy head, you can give more directions because you think that you're authoritative and you have every power in you. But then, unless and until you look down, you might stumble and fall because you are going straight because of the heavy head. And the moments when you start looking down and see for yourself that where all you need to percolate yourself, then only you can bring leadership in you. You cannot proclaim yourself to be a leader with a heavy head. You need to bend down and see for yourself the faults, the pitfalls, and then those people whom you're working with, which means that you need to understand them before making a judgment on them and deciding anything. You need to understand yourself first and then to understand others before proclaiming yourself to be a leader and finally bringing a torch to lead them. So the leadership lies in action and not in the position of bearing a crown on your head and showing your pretty face in front of everybody and proclaiming that you are a leader. No, never. That's not going to happen. That's not the way. The way the leaders are made, great leaders are made in this world, are the people who bend down and could recognize the faults and pitfalls among the people around them and finally come up with flying colors. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Jyothi.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bindu. No, never. Important to bend down, look down. A very vehemental action with your gestures. Looked like you just had to nail it. You understood the importance of how important it is to make sure, even if you have the crown, you need to bend or it will bring it down with its weight. Thank you very much for so beautifully saying. Now I'm going to just request one more speaker to come in if I have permission from the whole lot. And before we move to the last speaker for the table topics, maybe quickly give a round of applause. Now let me see that all of us are there. Richika, Raghavendran, Sonu Mehta, all of you. Can we look at your beautiful faces? Thank you. Today is my day. All right. I'm going to request Sharanya is our guest.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Is there Sharanya? I love that picture, all suited and booted. Thank you. May I request you to take up the next one?
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
Thank you. Your title is Who Cares About a Leader He Was Not Born to Be? Who cares about a leader he's not born to be? Sharanya.
No, I didn't get you. Like,
okay, I'm going to rephrase that. A leader is not just born to be one. I really don't care about him. Your thoughts on that, please.
See, I'm like, one minute.
Yes. Would you like me to rephrase it again, Sharadya?
No, I got the point. I got the point. I'm just thinking on the point, actually.
Thank you.
See, I'm going to talk it on a leadership on a inspirational basis, like the inspiring leader, the charismatic leader, who is there as a role model for everybody, right? So like he is not just a leader, but who has to give a guidance, or who have to give the pathway, or who have to be in the role to guide them throughout their career or throughout their whatever the activities they do it. So that is a kind of role they have to play as a leader.
Yes.
So I just have one or two examples. Like so, one is like I've read a book about Walmart way. So where in which, so I'm just going to, because I was just getting the point. So where in which, so I was reading one sentence where in which when Walmart Sam Walton died, so every people around them, the competitors, were thinking like the company is going to go down. They are not going to be in the market, like that they were thinking. But what happened is, like after his death, they were continuing with the same way how they were doing it. Like he have created a process for the entire system, not with the people. He created the process, and he created the entire thing, and everything went on well in the same way. So like that was like I just wanted to quote the example of the leadership about him.
Thank you very much, Sharanya. That is very nicely put. What was interesting is you went ahead, stepped out, jumped back in again, and beautifully got back on the horse. You very clearly stated that guidance shows the pathway. Beautifully used an example of the Walmart story. How in the passing of a leader, the process takes place. That very clearly says your thought was right there. And that was very beautifully put across. Thank you very much. And I would like to end this table topics with this word which I wanted to start off with. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I would like to know how many of you have ever heard about it. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. All right. That's the homework for you. I would like to sign off with this, with the greatest. Now, I don't know the process, but I can say my heart is beating faster with joy because my direction for this particular leadership in action and not position was to make sure this afternoon we are going to have a full house of people presenting the table topics. And I think I'm a true winner at this. And with that, thank you very much. And thank you for evaluating me, Toastmaster Arun, and the entire Wordsmiths fraternity. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful table topic session. And the prepared speech session was extraordinary too. And now, it's time to hand over control to my partner, who is none other than the general evaluator of today, who is Toastmaster Aravint, to conduct the evaluation session. Over to you, Toastmaster Aravint.
Thank you. Thank you, Cavalier Pranav. Hello, I am back again. Before the start of the evaluation session, the polls will be coming up for the best speaker and the best table topic speaker.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Here's a poll for best table topic speaker. Okay, let's quickly also do the poll for best speaker.
Done.
I see 13 of 17 votes.
Okay, I think I can start.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, General Evaluator.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yeah. So this is the final session of today's meeting, the heart of every Toastmasters meeting, which is the evaluation session, where each and every session will be evaluated from start to finish. The first part of it is the evaluation of the prepared speeches. There are 2 prepared speeches today, and the table topic speaker is all. The table topics is also a project. So totally we'll be having 3 evaluations. So let me invite distinguished Toastmaster Reena to evaluate DTM Arun Sridhar's speech. Over to you, DTM Reena.
Good evening, everybody. DTM Arun Sridhar, when you spoke about the hammer, it looks like instead of bringing the lion in you, you brought out the Thor in you. What a brilliant way to open this particular speech titled The Situation. When you have a hammer in your hand, the whole world looks like it has to be nailed. And then you moved on to speak about the various leadership styles that you have applied in your real life. When we look at this project, Toastmasters International defines around 8 styles of leadership over here. You chose to speak about your primary leadership styles instead of all the 8 of that. And I really appreciate, because within that short span, you were able to tell us about the leadership style and also related to a personal experience. The purpose of this particular speech is that you will have to identify your own leadership style, which you said you have been able to identify because of the test that you have taken through the assessment that you have taken through the Toastmasters site. And then sharing some aspect of it. So you spoke about coaching and altruistic style, which are probably milder style forms, leadership style forms, which were very helpful in terms of your Toastmasters journey when you were nurturing or you were mentoring people in all the members in Toastmasters. And then you moved on to a different style wherein in Toastmasters itself, you were able to apply the innovation style when you were part of the realignment team, which required a different kind of strategy and the creativity to align the different clubs to the different territories. And that was a very interesting episode. You spoke about the challenge you faced and how your team was able to come out with the idea of realignment and how you broke the jinx in terms of what was traditionally being done. From there on, you moved on to the next style, where you were very clearly talking about at work. All this may not be useful because, or it may not be applicable because you were working on, or you are supposed to work on strict deadlines. The client says on this date, it has to be done, it has to be done. So this is where you said you have used an authoritative leadership style where you had taken giving directions and it had worked really well. Now, if at all, I'll have to give you a recommendation. There's only one recommendation from my side, because for the audience, all these terms, the leadership styles terms, may not be really familiar to them. So just giving one line definition about each of these styles and then giving the example would make it impactful for them to recollect. Otherwise, a brilliant speech on situational leadership. I had a fantastic time listening to you. Just ensure that this recommendation is taken. Thank you so much, Thor Arun Sridhar. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM Reena, for that wonderful evaluation. Now the second prepared speech by Toastmaster Shri is going to be evaluated by yours truly. So let me start by the commendations of Toastmaster Shri's speech. It was a well organized and a well presented speech. The opening had your learnings from your previous projects. In the body of the speech, you described your various communication styles with wonderful examples, and you had an engaging conclusion as well. As a whole, your speech was wonderfully organized. Next, your speech was really well paced with pauses at appropriate places. It hooked the audience to your speech, and we are all eager to say what you are going to speak about next. Fantastically done. The examples which were provided for each style of communication were really relevant to the communication style and were also relevant for the audience to relate to as well. It was masterfully done. So these are the three commendations for today's for your speech. Coming to the three recommendations which I have, your project objective states that you need to describe the impact of your communication style on others. While you described your various communication styles, gave wonderful examples for each one of them, I personally feel that the impact of your style on others was missing. Next, you tried to add gestures, but it was restricted because you were sitting. I feel that your speech could have been delivered much more effectively had you stood and delivered your speech. Your speech was full of personal experiences and personal stories. It could have been made more engaging to the audience had you added much more voice modulations to them. So overall, I feel that your stories were engaging, and the personal touch you added to them had the audience hooked to it. All the best for your future speeches. Thank you. Now to evaluate the table topic session conducted by Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas, let me invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, to deliver his evaluation.
Thank you, General Evaluator. People start to heal the moment they feel heard. I love this quote because today there was one incident where my wife told me one memory, that she was sharing with me, and I asked her, why didn't you tell me this earlier? And she said, I told you, but you did not listen to that. So it's very important that we listen to people. And today, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas, as table topic master, clearly demonstrated how we should listen to others. There was so much of qualities that she showed, and like so much of good things that we wanted to take away in today's session. Some of them were the kind of smile that she had, the infectious smile when she started. From there on, she took the audience in her control. Every guest here was so happy to be participating in the table topic session. Kudos to Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas for that infectious smile. And she always respected the speakers point of view, irrespective of whether she's agreeing to it or not agreeing to it. She was never judging the kind of responses that the audience gave. She was always respecting that point of view, what speakers had. And she was relaxed, remained engaged with the audience. She always reserved her what do you call judgment. She never judged. That's something very important as a leader. Whenever you are talking to people, you don't give away your judgment irrespective of what they are sharing. And she noticed the speakers involvement, comfort level as well, and then kindled them to join the session. They asked him, they asked their consent to be participative. That's well done again. And all the guests were given a chance today. That's again fantastically done. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas. And also you gave a short affirming statements for each of the people who spoke today. So that made everybody feel that they have been heard, and at least one person had heard them. So that's something that each of the Toastmasters would really love. Like, I speak, and like people have to understand that, and they are coming with some kind of feedback for that. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jyothi, for that. And you motivated each of the speaker as well. Now, there were so many good things. Again, I can keep talking about all the positives, but if I want to give some recommendations for you, there are only a couple of things, not big deal. First of all, the table topics. There are guests who probably doesn't understand what this table topic is. So you started with a lot of excitements. In the excitement, probably you forgot to give the emphasis what this table topic is all about and why table topic is there. Probably that emphasis could have been given much more, so that the audience, new guests would have understood as well. That's one thing. The second thing, there was one instance where in the project they mentioned, often when there is silence, you want to jump in and say something. Resist the temptation, develop a tolerance. So this happened to one of the guests when she was in silent mode and she was not speaking. Probably if you had resisted, she would have been much more comfortable looking for that, whatever she want to refer or something like that. So maybe that pressure could have been little off for her. So resisting that tolerance, resisting that moment of silence is also important. So that's the two recommendations that I have. Apart from that, I thoroughly enjoyed, and lovely to see you as table topic master, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, for the detailed evaluation. So before we move to the tag team report, let us vote for the best evaluator. Over to the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Shriya.
Thank you, Chandra.
Now the poll is up.
Yeah. Poll is up. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Yeah. Now the prepared speeches evaluation has been done. Now coming to the general evaluation, which is going to be started by the tag team report. So let me invite the timer, Toastmaster Abhishek, to present his report.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Let me share my report. So this is the detailed report, but let me make my report crisp. So speaker number 1, DTM Arun Sridhar, took 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Speaker number 2, Toastmaster Shriya, took 6 minutes and 1 second. So their timeline is 5 to 7 minutes. So they are well within that time. For TD speakers, it was 1 to 2 minutes. So speaker number 1, guest Richika, took 1 minute 34 seconds. Guest Sonu Mehta took 1 minute 38 seconds. Guest Raghavendran took 1 minute 35 seconds. Guest Munish took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Arun Kumar took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Bindu took 2 minutes 9 seconds. Guest Saranya took 1 minute 58 seconds. This intermark was just to mention that the evaluation segment was not started on time as per the agenda, so just on that deal. But except for that, for the time being, we are well ahead with the agenda. So evaluator 1, DTM Reena, took 3 minutes 24 seconds. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Aravint, took 2 minutes 4 seconds. And Toastmaster Arun Kumar took 3 minutes 30 seconds dot of that grace time. So that's the timer report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, timer Toastmaster Abhishek, for the detailed evaluation report. detailed timer report. Next up, let me call the R counter, Toastmaster Hindu, to present the report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Actually, my role has been very much lessened because of the expert talks by almost all the speakers. Kudos to all the speakers because I could not find any in all the speeches. Plus the repeated words like and or something and words like that. Among the guests, can I spell out the name or just tell what the mistakes were? One is whatever guest Manish can improve upon it, like he can reduce the number of whatever being used in almost all the sentences. And coming to
ma'am, sorry to interrupt. Point of order. Ma'am, you please don't mention the name of the person while calling out the song.
Yeah. And another guest, she had actually spoken so many filler words like and, but, etc. I think that can be reduced and so much so that her speech will become better next time. All the best to all the speakers. I think this is a good direction towards becoming a good communicator. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu. Actually, this is Aravint here.
Sorry.
Yeah. To conclude the tag team report, let me have a grammarian for today's meeting, Toastmaster Anuradha, to present her report.
Am I audible now? So basically, the word of the day, direction, was used 3 times. Some good usages of grammar was decide, correlation, platform, gauge, altruistic, avid, scarcity, infectious smile, strutter, goofed up, stumble, and kindle. Some of the not so good usages of grammar are some period of time, more direction, each of the people, doesn't understand, lovely to see you. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuradha, for the crisp evaluation. Now it's time to present my report as a general evaluator. The meeting started on time because all the role players have joined on time. I now start to feel that we have been improving a lot on this aspect, as I think each of the 5 to 10 previous meetings have all started on time, on dot at 4 p.m. Whereas before we start by around 4:01 or 4:02 due to some issue or the other. The main reason is that all the role players join the meeting on time. The Child's Enthusiasm by Cavalier Pranav gave a wonderful start to the meeting with the story of the king of the jungle lion, which is not the tallest, not the fastest, not the largest, but it's a true leader because the lion has all the leadership qualities within it. Toastmasters stands for communication and leadership. And today's 2 prepared speeches where one speech dealt on all the leadership styles and the other speech dealt on all the communication styles. And both the speeches were delivered wonderfully with all the examples from their own lives. So that was masterfully done by the prepared speeches, DTM Arun Sridhar and Toastmaster Shreya. And coming to the table topics, oh my God. I thought to prepare my evaluation report on that time, but I couldn't help but listen to Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas' infectious enthusiasm and smile while she was delivering the topics to all the guests and the Toastmasters. And even the evaluations given by DTM Reena and Toastmaster Arun Kumar were on point, and I think it will help the evaluators grow further. Coming to the recommendations, it's not on all the other Toastmasters, but to myself, as this is my first week as of doing a full-time roll call, and I struggled a little bit. I take this moment to express my gratitude to Toastmaster Abhishek to get all the roles done properly. So thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek, for that. So this is my general evaluation report. I would like to transfer the control back to Toastmaster Aditi.
And now, let me introduce the member of the week, which is presented by Toastmaster Aravint today. Over to you, Toastmaster Aravint.
Thank you so much, Pranav. Okay, great. So we started this member of the week in order to enhance. I mean, we are not networking a lot as we used to do in the personal meetings. So we thought we'll introduce this member of the week segment where we talk about the member and their interest and why they feel certain things their way. So that's how we got into this member of the week. And today we have one person, and I'm going to be interviewing that person. But before that, let's go quickly and understand that person's interest and what they like. First of all, she loves to do new things. What kind of new things? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Arun. I would just like to launch the polls quickly before we move on.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, thank you. Let's have best back player first. All right, we can also launch the poll for best role player. All right, thank you, everyone. Arun, please continue. Thanks.
Yeah. So this person loves to do new things, and what kind of new things? She is currently learning Hindi. She is currently learning Sanskrit. I gave you another clue indirectly. She it is, and she is also loving to write poems. She is writing poems as well. And her inspiring people are Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Mother Teresa. Any guesses?
Bindu.
Let's see. And in the Bhuj earthquake in 2000, she was one of the members in the relief camp and was helping the people around. We should probably give some applause for that. And she likes to go to Africa. That's her next stop. Now, any guesses?
Is it Toastmaster Bindu?
Yes, it is Toastmaster Bindu. She is doctor by profession. And I'm so happy to introduce to you the member of the week, Toastmaster Bindu. Toastmaster Bindu, are you there?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I just got some time to talk to Toastmaster Bindu today, and like I understood a lot of things from her, and I really like the way she expresses her enthusiasm in every meeting. She comes into the meeting regularly. She gives her big smile to every people who attend the meeting, and like even for the smallest of messages that we get in the WhatsApp, she acknowledges and she responds. So I appreciate the new member Toastmaster Bindu for her support to the Wordsmiths family, and thank you so much, Toastmaster Bindu, for joining this club, and like you've been doing fantastically well. Now, I saw that your favorite quote is about the dream. Can you please explain about your favorite quote and why it is your favorite quote?
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to bring me as a member of the week In fact, I should be thankful to Toastmasters and Chennai Wordsmiths for making me what I am now. Because basically I am an introvert and I could speak now in such a language, and with facing all of you is really an achievement that is without the help of Chennai Wordsmith, I think I would have never ever faced this kind of crowd. So during my school days, I was so inspired by APJ Abdul Kalam, and I mean, I was an introvert, so I used to sleep a lot, and I mean, most often I would get up from a dream, and it would be, you know, half a dream or something like that. And my father used to scold me for sleeping for so long. And then he used to tell, see, dreams are not, and I would say, no, I was having a dream. So he would tell that, no, dreams are something that, you know, should not occur in sleep. That's not the dream. It should be when you're awake, and that should bring you energy to forge ahead. Rather than sleeping and get slumbered in the bed, this is what, at this moment, you are a student, and what you are supposed to do is dream about what are you going to do the next part of your life or next stage of your life. This has been a constant, you know, inspiration in the back of my mind. And mind you, my father is not there, but then still, and so is APJ Abdul Kalam. But these words keep on ringing me even today. And I think it should be there till the end of my life, because that makes you realize the value of time, the value of effort, and the value of, you know, the invaluable thing called life, which cannot be replayed. Once played, and that's played forever. So that's thing that always makes me inspire even during those tiring days. Thanks to APJ Abdul Kalam for inspiring so many students like us, and, you know, bringing forth a lot of qualities to make a good citizen of India. And I'm very proud to be an Indian and say that APJ Abdul Kalam was our 13th president. And he inspired me in such a way that I had come here because of his words and his deeds. He lived by his words. He was not just, you know, uttering or saying some words and be with it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vindu. Yes, definitely that quote from Abdul Kalam on dreams is something that everybody really appreciate and like want to really live by that. Now, coming on to the second question, currently we see a lot of things happening with respect to medical field, and a lot of frontline people, I mean, putting their hands out during the COVID time. So your thoughts about how difficult it is for the doctors during this COVID period, and like if you want to share some things to the people, to the common people, what would it be?
Like, as a common man, COVID is a pandemic, and it has affected almost everywhere, irrespective of place, person, and religion, and so on and so forth. But then, as a frontline medical worker, I had some added responsibilities. But thinking in common man's perspective, of course, it's a pandemic and you need to be aware of it. But being medical doctor, it is our responsibility to take care of that and forge ahead and make people aware that there is no need to be panic, but be healthy in mind and body. We can face all the difficulties if we have a healthy mind in that healthy body. Unfortunately, the place where I was working, I mean, till the pandemic, I was very enthusiastically doing all my work, thinking that God had given me this valuable gift and I should make full use of it. But then once, you know, that set in, it made me learn a lot of things. Maybe to each and every one of you, I think COVID might have given you a lot of lessons to learn. Same is the case for me, especially as a doctor. When it comes to a medical field, and if you're working in a corporate hospital, the way they look at it is totally different, no matter what. As you know, Toastmaster Arun was telling in his speech, rain or shine, you have to produce the result. So pandemic or epidemic, they just want the money to get back. Whatever that they have put in, they have to get the returns. Whether the people is suffering or not, that's not a question. So that was a little bit, against the basic value under which we stand for. We stand for compassion, we stand for service of the humanity. And that should be, as a doctor, a goal. People come with a lot of miseries, and we are the persons who have to give solace and calmness in addition to the medicine. And that is what is needed. We need to listen to what they are suffering. Unfortunately, the corporate hospitals have turned tipsy-turvy, and that they are really making a big show by telling that we are taking care of the COVID-19 patients. No, it was not. Unless and until you are inside that battlefield, you will never know the intricacies of it. So I was really upset, and I could not carry on with that, this thing aim in my mind. I just quitted it. And now I'm jobless, but I am not regretting that moment, because there are certain values for a profession, and we need to keep that light on. Otherwise you will be very much down, and that is not the way that we have learned to live. That is not the way that APG and great leaders have shown to us. So we should always be having that integrity in us to go ahead. Even during that hard times, you know that nobody is looking at you. You might be getting so much of money in your hands, and you have a luxurious life for next 2 to 3 generations maybe. But that's not the issue. That's not the way. Money is not everything. That this pandemic has taught every person, even the millionaire, that it is not everything. So
Great.
That's the thing that comes to me.
Great, Bindu. Really appreciate that. Like in one of my international speech, I spoke about the character and values being most important, and making some difference is important. You truly demonstrated that, irrespective of whether it's going to be you're going to be jobless for a period of time, you stood with your values and you stood with your character, and that's really appreciable. And definitely I believe you will have a good future ahead, and like I wish you you get a job soon, and like we all celebrate that. Now coming on to the next question, what's your fun time? What do you do when you're really stressful and you want to enjoy some time off, and how do you spend that?
My fun time is walking, and especially among the trees. I really have a fantastic time watching the birds, little creatures like squirrels, and so many little creatures around, So it's going in midst of the trees itself is a solace to our mind. I mean, you have to learn so much from nature. I mean, we are struggling to aim so many things, but they find happiness even the so simple things. That is what is life is. I mean, so that's what makes my mind very happy and rejuvenated.
Great.
Of course, reading books, but for that you need some sort of a concentration, even if you are reading magazines. But then this one, if you're really tired, you can just spend your time with the nature, and nature gives you in full.
Definitely, nature is definitely the greatest inspiration for everyone here. Now, just wanted to check with you. Each of us, we want to leave behind some footprints in the sands of time. What is that you want to leave behind?
I would like to leave behind the values that I hold on, and being or having integrity along with competence is what a person is made. Not that you are talented and you have competent and you are the CEO of a certain company. No, you as a human being, what you have left behind for your next generation to follow is stick on to the values that you hold on, and that will take you and your next generation way ahead. You need not have to bring lots of money or luxury or anything in your life, but stand on your values no matter what. That is, I think. And another thing is that victory is not in the try, it's not in the result, but in the try. Like always, I was in the very beginning when the school time, always I used to give it a try, and I would, every time I will lose it. In speech, I will lose because I will not face the audience. I'm so shy and so introvert that I'm so fearful. I know that I'm going to fail, but then my father pushed me ahead to go and stand, go and stand. So that gave me an impetus that it is in the try, not in the result, whether you get the first and the second. And everybody used to tell, oh, are you getting the first or the second? No, I don't bother. I don't bother a bit. And I was so excited when in the international speech contest that Mark, who got the first, was telling the same, quoting the same line that the victory is in the try and not the result. Hope some of you had heard that. I mean, I was so excited, and I thank Toastmaster for so much for that. I think I had my second birthday in my icebreaker speech. I told that it's my second. It's a rebirth for me. So much of revelations that I could learn from, each and every speaker in Toastmasters. Everyone has having so much of potential and so much of resources. Plus, it is offering a lot of opportunities. Every meeting I'm looking forward. It gives you to uplift your life. Not only your life, your mind and your body, and if you totally become a different person. If somebody else can judge you, that person will be the best to say that change in you. I think we need to really look into that aspect. Toastmaster gives you a platform. It tells you how to evaluate, how to lead, how to bring forth your hidden talents. Thank you very much for Chennai Wordsmith for giving me this opportunity. Unless otherwise this is there, I would never have opened my mouth like this.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu. Definitely, I second that. Like success, you don't have to see failure as opposite of success, but part of success. That's it. And thank you so much for your time and effort. And we really appreciate your presence in Wordsmiths. Looking forward to see you in more roles and giving more speeches in the Toastmaster journey. All the best. Happy Toastmastering. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aravint. It was a wonderful session. And first of all, a big round of applause to everyone, as many of them used the word of the day and theme of the day. And first, when I thought I can come to this role, yesterday Toastmaster Abhishek posted in JLC group that we are in need of a Toastmaster of the day. I never expected that I can play the role of Toastmaster of the day. So I thought of giving a try. So I contacted him and he said, okay. So I started preparing from first and rehearsing a lot. It was a wonderful experience being here, and I expect that I will come to this meeting in all ways. And I hope you all also attend our club's meeting. We'll be having a great lesson. Over to the president.
Thank you so much, Pranav, for this wonderful meeting. And thank you to all the members who participated very well. The table topic sessions and the member of the week. And just to reiterate, today's member of the week was the Toastmaster of the month for the month of January. And that is the reason. That is also one of the reasons that she has been interviewed as a member of the week part today. So, my dear Toastmasters, as I have said you, there are a lot of exciting announcements from Team Jarvis. But before that, let me quickly get the feedbacks from guests. Can we have the guest feedbacks maybe from Richika? Okay, then we'll come back again later. Can we have it from Sonu Mehta?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. I really enjoyed today. I think the expectations that I had set in my mind was definitely met with, and I'm looking forward to another Saturday like this.
Thank you so much, Sonu. We are looking forward to see you as a member soon. Can we hear it from Saranya?
Hi, good evening. See, I was a little unprepared for the meeting because I didn't see the agenda and other stuff. So when she gave me the topic, I was in middle of some other activity because I was just waiting for the client feedback and stuff. So I was a little confused over things and presented it in a different way, which I didn't expect actually. So like I enjoyed it. I wanted to be the member and continue with that. So hope to see you in the future meeting.
Sure, Saranya. Thank you so much for joining. Can we hear it from Raghavendran?
Sure, Abhishek. As I said, this is my first ever interaction with this group as such, the Toastmasters, right? I've got to know a lot of things about how you do, and one thing that I would like to appreciate is the approach. It's completely professional, right from the time of sharing the invite, sharing the link for Zoom meeting, the agenda, and the way you guys follow the timings. Everything has been completely professional, and I think I'm super excited to join this group, and I'm sure we're all going to learn. Of course, learning never stops. Thank you for this invite, Abhishek.
Thank you so much, Raghavendran. We are also super excited to have another member in our Wordsmiths family. So can we hear it from Lakshmi?
Hi, I'm very excited, and there's something I just joined the meeting after 5, so I was not there from the beginning, and I don't know. I have always read through. I'm quite nervous and sorry. Uh, I think I will speak like you people in after one or two sessions, I guess, and I'm started preparing for it. Looking forward to be a part of Toastmasters Club and with you all.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. We are also looking forward for you to be a member. So I think Richika is back now. So can we hear it from Richika now?
Yeah, hi. Sorry about that. I think it was a great session. This was my first Toastmasters meeting, and I think it was conducted extremely professionally, and I really loved the timekeeping and how punctual everybody was, and it was a great experience overall. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Richika. So it was a pleasure to have a guest like you. So my dear Toastmaster, so now it's the time for us to know what the Team Jarvis has to offer you. So as you all know, Chennai Wordsmith Club is now live on Google. So you can type CWTC or Chennai Wordsmiths. So this will be the first to pop up on Google. So I request the members or the guests to go and experience it and put your reviews on that as well. So Chennai Wordsmiths is on Google now. The next announcement that comes from Team Jarvis is, so as you all know, February 27 is going to be our area before ISE and TT contest. Members from our clubs are going to represent our club in the area contest for the international speech and table topic. So all the meeting invites and the members will be shared in the group maybe before Sunday, end of the day. So the most awaiting announcement from Team Jarvis was, so hope many of us can relate this place to us. So if anyone can unmute and say what this place is.
I think this is the terrace you had outdoor meeting.
Yes. Outdoor meeting.
Yes, Pranav. Yes, obvious. Yes. So anti-sport. So we are going to have our next outdoor meeting on March 6th. Not only that, during our last outdoor meeting, we had requests from our members to, is there any provisions to join online? So this time our experts XCOM is working on the possible ways to make it a hybrid meeting that is both offline and online. Those who wish to come and experience the adrenaline of public speaking, they can come to Antispot, and those who wish to join via Zoom, they can also do that. So all the necessary steps and all the steps will be given to you shortly, maybe in the next week, on how to proceed with that. So that is the first exciting announcement that we have for the month of March. And the next exciting announcement for the month of March is, so there are two exciting announcements. Let me keep that as a surprise for next week. And for March 20, I'm going to announce another surprise for members of Wordsmiths. Yes, my dear Toastmasters, so we are going to have our next international joint meeting. So thanks to this COVID and thanks to online meeting, so international joint meeting has been like very easy possible manner with via Zoom. And now let me open the floor again. Guess where are we going to fly for this international joint meeting?
Where I fly for every meeting.
Okay, London, I guess. Any other guesses? Okay, member, so let me start giving you a clue. So any guesses from members?
Rome. Italy.
Okay. Okay, so I just want to be the clues to be as tough as possible. So don't try that to be an easy clue. So I made the clues as tough as possible. The next clue is, members, come on. Which place are we going to fly?
What is this?
I think I'm getting some answers in chat if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Singapore,
so
I think.
Paris, Singapore.
That hotel is there in Singapore.
So let me give the next clue. Any guesses or any other reconsiderations of your guesses? Okay, this is the other clue.
Yeah, this is Singapore.
Yes, my dear Toastmasters. So not only Singapore, so as Aravint said, it's going to be a joint meeting with a club in Singapore as well as with a club in London. So this represents the government, the first picture represents the government, British Museum of London. And the second picture is the London Tower in a different view. So that is the reason you may not be able to guess it. So the third picture was the Universal Studio in Singapore. And the fourth one was the Marina Bay, a famous place in Singapore. So as said, Chennai Wordsmith is going to join hands with Hazir Riz Ilyas Toastmasters Club from Singapore and PMI UK Toastmasters Club from London. So it's going to be a 3 countries joint meeting of Toastmasters. So Team Jarvis has tried another step to go and get the 2 countries confirmation on this joint meeting. So you can reach out to our XCOM members on the role players if you want to play any roles or if you want to take up any speech slots. So we'll be getting in touch with you. Also, the Vice President Education will be getting in touch with you for the role players. So in simple, this is the calendar for Chennai Wordsmith Toastmasters for the next 4 weeks. Kept the March 13 as a surprise to be revealed on March 6th because there should be some exciting announcements coming every week from Team Jarvis. So that is the reason we kept the March 13 surprise event as a surprise till March 6th. And my dear Toastmasters, it's time for us to know who performed the best in today's meeting. And the best table topic speaker goes to guest Sonu Mehta.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sonu Mehta. And the best speaker goes to Toastmaster Shriya, a casual talk. The best evaluator goes to our immediate past president, Toastmaster Arun Kumar. The best tag player goes to myself for the role player of timer. And the best role player goes to table topic master, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas. And my dear Toastmasters, hope you enjoyed the meeting and it's time for a group pick. So I request the members to turn on their videos, please, for a group pick. Master can help me with this. Toastmasters, you can smile at this place at least. Say cheese. Shia, let us know once you're on mute.
sorry. I was asking if Sonu can turn on a video. Rest of us.
Yes. Sonu, if you can turn on the video, we can take a group pic. So, Sonu.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Just a second.
Yeah. Such ACT is $1 million for Wordsmiths. Yeah, so thank you so much, Toastmasters. So I adjourn this meeting to March 6th in Antispot. So let us open the flow for networking. I guess I request the Zoom master to stop the recording.